Feeling cursed by bad luck lately? Job loss, constant arguments, sickness that won't go away? You're not alone. But what if a simple item from your kitchen, garlic, held deeper meaning than you thought? In this video, we explore how garlic, when paired with Islamic teachings, is being used as a symbolic shield by Muslims worldwide. Stay with us. One story may shift your view on protection forever. Stay with us till the end. What you hear might open spiritual doors you didn't know existed. Comment below. Have you ever tried something unconventional for spiritual protection? Maybe even garlic? Garlic. In ancient Rome, it was worn to battle. In South Asia, it's hung at doors. Across the Middle East, it's believed to ward off the evil eye. But what about in Islam? Can a believer use such a practice without crossing into superstition? Islam teaches us that nothing happens without the will of Allah, yet it also encourages taking the means for protection through dua, morning and evening adhkar, and even natural remedies. So where does garlic fit in? It's not about the clove itself. It's about the intention behind using it. We'll dive into the delicate line between cultural symbolism and Islamic spirituality, and how you can purify your protection rituals without falling into shirk or bid'ah. Let's clear the fog. What is superstition and what is spiritual practice in Islam? Share your thoughts. Where do you draw the line between culture and deen, faith? Real-life stories. In a small village in central Turkey, a devout Muslim family had a long-standing tradition, placing garlic in a small pouch by the main door. But unlike cultural folklore, they paired this with the daily recitation of Ayat al-Kursi and Surah al-Baqarah in the home. The garlic wasn't their protector, Allah was. The garlic simply reminded them to engage in daily dhikr and seek Allah's shelter from the unseen harms. In India, a young woman named Nafisa grew up watching elders tie black threads with amulets around babies' wrists. She believed these would ward off nazar, evil eye. But when she began studying the seerah of Prophet Muhammad, she was shocked to find that the Prophet forbade such talismans, calling them forms of minor shirk. She didn't reject protection, she changed the source. Now, she uses black seed oil, garlic in meals for barakah, and starts every day with morning adhkar. Meanwhile, in London, a revert brother shared his story online. During a period of severe depression and unexplainable bad luck, an elder advised him to burn garlic to clear the air. Instead, he reached out to a local imam. The imam taught him ruqya and the concept of purifying the home through Quranic recitation and keeping good energy through good deeds, not rituals. He still uses garlic, but for cooking, not for protection. All these people had one thing in common. They weren't relying on objects. They were reclaiming their niyah. It was never about the garlic. It was about using what's halal and natural, without attributing divine power to it. It's not about garlic alone, it's about what you believe while using it. Have you ever repurposed a cultural practice to align it with Islam? Share your journey in the comments. Islamic perspective. In Islam, there's no such thing as bad luck. Misfortune doesn't float randomly through life. It's part of qadr, the divine decree of Allah. Every hardship, delay, or challenge is allowed only by His permission. As Allah says in the Quran, no calamity befalls except by permission of Allah. Surah At-Taghabun 64:11. When believers face consistent hardship, be it health issues, emotional distress, or financial losses, the answer is not to reach for superstition. Islam gives us a clear roadmap for real protection. Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas for seeking refuge from all forms of evil. Morning and evening adhkar to shield ourselves spiritually every day. Ayat al-Kursi for daily fortification. Above all, deep tawakkul, trust that Allah is in control. So where does that leave garlic? Garlic, like black seed or honey, is a blessing of creation. It can be used for health, food, or even as a cultural symbol, but the danger arises when one starts attributing power to it. If someone believes garlic itself wards off evil, that slips into shirk, the gravest sin in Islam. Even minor shirk, like thinking an object helps spiritually without Allah's will, dilutes one's tawheed. Islam is about purifying intention. If garlic is used as a reminder to make dua or as part of a halal tradition without belief in its supernatural ability, it's not haram. But belief must always stay with the one who has actual power. We're not asking, does garlic protect? We're asking, what does your heart depend on? Do you think it's wrong to use objects with dua if your heart relies only on Allah? Comment your view below. Garlic tradition and cultural intersection. Garlic isn't just food. Across cultures, it's symbol, medicine, and sometimes even protection. Roman soldiers once wore garlic around their necks for courage and stamina in battle. In parts of North Africa, families place garlic in the cradles of newborns, not as worship, but as a cultural symbol to ward off envy. In Arab traditions, some use garlic in ruqya sessions, not to chase away jinn with smell, but for its antibacterial strength and symbolic purity. Even in Eastern Europe, it's common to hang garlic over doors or braid it with red thread, old signs of guarding the home from harm. But here's the Islamic perspective. Islam doesn't reject culture, it refines it. The Prophet Muhammad didn't erase every pre-Islamic custom. Instead, he filtered cultural practices through the lens of Tawheed, oneness of Allah. If something didn't contradict belief in Allah, it could be kept. But the moment a practice gave power to anything other than Allah, it had to go. So, if garlic is used as a healthy food, a cultural symbol, or a reminder to make dua, there's no issue. But when people start believing it has power, even slightly, that's when the line is crossed. Islam isn't anti-culture, it's pro-Tawheed. Comment a tradition in your country that you feel is close to Islamic values, or one you've had to refine. Quranic stories and real application. Islam teaches that healing and protection can come through means, but never from the means themselves. The Quran and Sunnah are filled with examples that beautifully show this balance. When Musa, us, stood before the Red Sea, Allah told him to strike it with his staff. The sea parted, but not because of the staff. It was Allah's command that gave it power. The staff was a tool, not the cause. When Maryam, as, gave birth under the palm tree, she was instructed, "Shake the trunk toward you." Dates fell, not because of her strength, but because Allah made it happen. Her action was a gesture of obedience, not the source of the outcome. The Prophet Muhammad used natural remedies like black seed, honey, and hijama, cupping. But he always paired them with du'as, tawakkul, and faith. He taught us that even the best remedy is just a vessel. The shifa, healing, comes only from Allah. So yes, garlic, black seed, and even medicine can be used. But the belief must always be this: Allah allows healing through means, but the healing comes from Him. In Islam, you act, but you don't rely on the act. You rely on the one who commands the act. Do you know someone who misunderstood tawakkul and stopped seeking any healing or protection? Share their story with care. Spiritual practice plus symbolism. If you're drawn to garlic for its traditional or health benefits, that's fine. The prophetic diet included many natural remedies, and garlic is known for its strength against illness. But for spiritual protection, your foundation must always be rooted in divine practices. Recite Ayat al-Kursi after every prayer and before sleep. Read Surah al-Ikhlas, al-Falaq, and An-Nas every night. Use ruqyah water and olive oil with Quranic recitations. Incorporate natural remedies, black seed, honey, hijama, but never without dua and the correct belief. The garlic can be a tool in your routine, but never let it become a belief sis. Make the garlic a tool, not a god. What spiritual practice gives you the most peace? Share in the comments. Your answer might inspire someone. Garlic, black seed, zamzam, all are tools. But real protection lies in sincere dua, tawheed, and living by the Quran and Sunnah. Don't let culture replace conviction. Like, share, and tag someone who's been relying on rituals over revelation. Don't forget to comment. What did this video change for you?